it's the
Back to you.
1, 2, 3s or the ABCs. It appears that our student teachers are falling behind. New data that has just been released from universities show nearly 10% of teachers are failing the basic literacy and numeracy. Many experts believe these issues should be identified much earlier than the end of the course. Some states have raised their entry requirements for teaching courses, meaning that hopefully those numbers will reduce as those students graduate. Ben, we always hear that teachers deserve more money, but 10% is a large amount for failing at their actual job.
Yeah, I guess I kind of see where you're coming from, except for the fact that my mum was a primary school teacher. That's what she did for her career, and in actual fact, she was very good at teaching and had me as a son, who was not very good at numeracy or literacy, and look, she was at the top of her game. You know, she spent a lot of time. Even when she retired, she went back into teaching kids with reading and writing and a number of difficulties. And my mum was an expert at that. You know, I don't necessarily think that teachers these days across the board are all this incompetent. Do you know what I mean? Like,
No one's saying that.
Yeah, I think definitely we need to look into more funding for education, and I think that is a big problem in this country. So, you know, look, I think there's a few things happening here, but I will say that, you know, some students that manage to get through the educational system, like myself, I don't think it's necessarily the teachers at fault.
Look, it is interesting you say that. I do feel that with my education, a lot of things slipped through the cracks. With my teaching and in high school, some of that was my fault. I was too busy making videos and stuff. But I think during the course of my public education, there were some basics that I just missed, and I don't even know how that happened. But you know, I've certainly tried to educate myself as an adult. But Robbo, the fact that 10% of teachers are failing these basics, these are the people meant to be training our kids. There's two problems going on here: that we need more teachers. Where do we draw the line in trying to get more teachers into the system and accepting that some of them just aren't up to it?
Well, yeah, some of them aren't up to it, but, you know, I can take myself, for example. I didn't know anything about anything when I started TV, and then you learn all the time, you get trained and whatever. But the point that I have here, and this was actually raised by a few other education experts, was that why are they being told at the end of their course that they're not up to scratch? Why? And then this expert went further and said, so the university has taken their money for 4 years, and at the end of the 4 years have then said, oh, yeah, by the way, you actually can't do 1 + 1 and you can't spell, you know.
That's a very good, yes.
But isn't, and this is not my point, I got that point from doing some research, but I think that's a really valid point. As you go on in life, you know, and you go through a career, you are kind of pulled up and gone, you know, you can't do that anymore. That's not the right way to do it. This is the way to do it. They don't wait until, I don't know, you resign or whatever, or, you retire, and they say, well, by the way, for 20 years you actually did this and it wasn't the right thing to do, but whatever. They don't do it that way. There's a lot of question marks hanging over this.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo.